team of international, and in my personal life, my wife Nadine and I raised 6 beautiful little people into hopefully responsible adults. So, you will recognize these 2 objects. One of them delivers addictive chemicals to your brain and causes health effects, and the other, of course, is a cigarette. That's my experience as a tech addict. When I first saw my first Commodore PET, I was addicted, and off we went. So you might wonder why an innovator in his job and an early adopter in his personal life would choose then to manufacture a laggard environment for his kids. Well, at the turn of the century, when we were thinking of having kids, there were a lot of foundational things. This is Cassandra. She's having a bad day. She was cursed with prophesying and nobody believed her, and I felt the same way about tech in time and the proper timing for tech. Then growing up in the prairies, we had this expression, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. And sometimes with fast-moving commerce, if you don't like the science, wait 5 minutes. So if you said any time this week, evidence-based, you're going to taste your fillings by the end of this because you're going to be asking me what my source was. Add in a brother who's an environmental engineer, and he salted my opinions with eco-pessimism and told me not to take too much from the earth. And then finally, living on the North Shore, we know that as parents sometimes it becomes a bit of an arms race with your children. More stuff, more lessons, more teams, and so on. And Nadine and I decided to disengage from that a little bit. Now this, that you're about to see on the screen, is grapefruit sherbet, which chefs use to cleanse the palate. So I want you to look at its pleasing colors and cleanse your palate, because our journey was nowhere near as negative as those first few slides would portend. So I want you to cast yourself back to 2004 and try and think of what tech was. There's the first set of twins. The Facebook was born as well. Skype was launched. The Motorola Razr was the best phone on the market at the time, and everybody listened to an iPod Classic. And that was our milieu at the time. The early years, Nicholas, the bunny who lives in a hollow tree, it's very easy to be low-tech in what I call the board book phase. And we began to talk more about whether we're occupying or educating our children. Then we moved to the primary years, so the diorama phase. So many dioramas. Everything is tactile. We take the kids out into the woods all the time. But we're starting to see all their friends relying more and more on tech. So we up the ante with our kids a little bit, and we usher in the family movie night phase, where before age 5, we muted technology and media a little bit, but we decided to have a big ticket event every now and then. But tech is now becoming pervasive in kids' lives. I'm a bit of a snob. I consider this salty, fatty burger that is to colorful vegetables as my mobile habits are to something like Lego robotics. There is a hierarchy in tech and things that are useful or not. So when we're thinking of teaching our kids tech, we usually use physical ways of doing that, like these snap circuits, because it kind of lowered the glycemic index of how they would absorb the tech and what they would learn from it. Then we moved into age 7 to 12, and those games ran out of steam, and we came into the exercise yards phase where we practiced a lot of physical literacy, which meant marching them outside in the woods a lot. When we were going into high school, this is coming up a family photo of us as the kids go into high school. I'm the guy on the left with the great legs, and we really seem now to be out of step. And the biggest social pressure now with our teens is to get on social media. And it verged on a bit of bullying, and we had to adapt, and we distracted them with entrepreneurial project. Here's a shameless plug. If you need lawn care or babysitters, those are their websites. And we use those to teach the value of tech, but tech as a tool as opposed to tech as an entertainment device. Now we have 3 teenagers. Here they are heading off this evening for a leadership activity with Air Cadets. They have one burner phone between the 3 of them. None of them have social media accounts, but they can all use tech as a tool and appreciate its place. We're lucky in our family because we have what we call Gen 1 and Gen 2. We have 6 kids and 3 are younger. So we got to reflect on our choices, see what worked, see what didn't, and to be honest, be a bit smug about some of the science that came out in the social commentary. And we decided, let's keep with what we were doing, Some of the times the only electricity are the reading lights, and the kids are living a low-tech lifestyle. They do watch their older siblings. They know what tools they can come to expect later on in life. So we swam against the stream, and we raised our kids in a low-tech or tech-just-in-time environment. And I believe that we would keep doing it over again because we've seen the kids use their time wisely and really grow. Thank you.